welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and let's get to chatting. So as you can tell by my title, I want to talk about my labor and delivery story. I had a Vbac, a vaginal birth after C-section. If you didn't know what that means, I had a Vbac and I was so excited, and I'm just so excited to share my story. So it started on a Tuesday. I was 38 weeks and 9 days pregnant, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm ready to have this baby. I was trying to, do squats, and I was walking like 2 miles twice a day sometimes. I was really trying to get him out, and I was just trying to do all these natural things to, get him out. But nothing was working, and I never did the castor oil or anything like that, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So on that Tuesday, I finally started losing my mucus plug, and I was like, yes, we're going into labor, but we never did. Every day till Saturday, I was losing my mucus plug gradually. And so on Saturday, I finally started losing my bloody show. And I was like, ooh, yes, okay, I know for a fact I'm going into labor soon, because with my previous birth, I already had experience with this part. So I'm like, okay, I know labor is about to start real soon. So I just didn't know when. So we went over to my friend's house, and I started losing it even more. And I was just like, oh my goodness, yes, it's almost time. So we went over another friend's house that evening, and it was like 7:00 p.m. And I was having even more Braxton Hicks contractions. They were getting even more intense. So I was like, oh yes, okay, I'm starting to go into labor. So my contractions, they started coming like every 6 minutes, and I was like, okay, I don't know, maybe I'm not gonna be in labor, maybe it's gonna go away or whatever. But they never did go away. So I was like, you know what, it's 10 o'clock and I'm still having my contractions every 6 minutes, so let me go ahead and put it in a contraction timer. And they were coming every 5 minutes, every 4 minutes, every 3 minutes, and I'm still like, you know what, we still not going to the hospital anytime soon, because no, it's just not gonna happen right now. So I was like, he's gonna come, and he's gonna come like tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm not gonna go to the hospital right now. So we went home like around 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got in the shower, I took a bath. I was trying to like soothe the contractions because they were becoming a little bit more intense and stuff, but I was able to control it, so it was cool. So then I went and I laid down in the bed. I never did go to sleep. I ended up getting on the phone, and I was just like, oh, I'm getting distracted now that I'm on the phone. And so the contractions starting to hurt even more. So I was like, we gonna have to go to the hospital even sooner than I thought. We didn't leave until like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we dropped Samson off, and then we were on our way to the hospital. So we got to the hospital, we checked in, and my contractions, they were still coming.
Krista. We're here, you guys. We're gonna see what's happening. She's in a lot of pain, as you can see.
I was like, oh my God, I hope they keep me. I hope I'm not too early. I just did not want to be early. So we checked in at like 6 o'clock or whatever. So we got to the room, and then she was like, oh, you're only 4 centimeters. And I was like, what? I was like, no, I can't believe I'm only 4 centimeters. These contractions feel like I'm further along. Oh my goodness. From there, she was like, but we're still gonna keep you. So I was like, yes, okay, thank God they're gonna keep me, because I don't want to go home feeling like this. So they kept me. She gave me the COVID test, and after she gave me the COVID test, she was like, do you want the epidural? I was like, yes. I was so disappointed in myself, because I did not want the epidural, but the pain was just so intense at that point. So I was just like, you know what, go ahead and give it to me. She was like, I don't know how long it's gonna take. So she gave me this other medicine, I don't know what it's called, but she gave me this other medicine to make me like loopy in a way. So, and it did, because I was just like, everything was just like slow. So when the contractions came, like it hurt, but it didn't hurt like that, because my mind was just like not on it in a way. I don't know. So from then she came back, and the anesthesiologist gave me the epidural after a few hours. So it was about like 8 o'clock when he gave me the epidural, and I was like, ooh, okay, the pain is going away and stuff. I could kind of feel it just a little bit. So I told them, and they were like, okay, let me give you another dose. And he came back in and he was like, you're gonna need to call me every time you need some more epidural and stuff. So I was like, okay, whatever. I thought I was gonna have the remote or whatever that everybody else be talking about, but I don't know. He's just like, you know, you're gonna have to call me every time. So I was like, okay. It was about 10 o'clock, and then the doctor came in and she was like, oh, you're gonna be able to push in about 30 minutes. Cause she checked me and I guess I was close enough. She didn't say how many centimeters I was, but she was just like, you know, in about 30 minutes, you're gonna be able to push. So I was like, oh yes, I was super excited. Like, yes, I'm finally at this point where I get to push my baby out and meet him. So I was just getting really, really excited. Okay, so I forgot to mention that I got the shakes because I had got the epidural, and I was nervous because they put the oxygen on my face, and so I was nervous about that because I was like, oh my goodness, is my O2 getting lower or something? I was just like, I just didn't know that was the normal part of having the epidural. So yeah, so she came in and she checked me and she was saying that I was gonna be able to push in 30 minutes. And so the 30 minutes came around and she was like, no, maybe another 30 minutes. And then I was like, okay. So it was like 11 o'clock. And I was like, I really want him to come by 12 o'clock. That's what I said, 12 o'clock. So we're gonna start pushing at 11. So then the nurse came in and she was like, okay, let's get some practice pushes in. So we started practicing pushing and she was like, ooh, no. Because she had me in a weird position, so I was just like, it was so uncomfortable. So I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna push the baby out laying flat on my back. It was weird. So from then, she was like, yeah, you're gonna need some practice even more. No, so she left, and then Joshua was like, my husband was like, oh, let's try pushing the baby out ourselves, or like practicing. And I'm like, no, dude, I don't want to do that, because if she ain't here to catch him, like I just don't want to do that right now. So let's not. But then I ended up giving in and I was like, okay, you know, let me just try to push. So I pushed, and then like I was like, felt like some stuff was going on and he might have came out or whatever. I was just like, no sir, we're not doing this. So it was like 11:20 and I was like, oh my goodness. It just felt like he needed to come out at that point. I was like, where's the nurse? She said she was coming back. Oh my goodness, I want to push him out. I think I'm ready. I think it's time. And then I felt some warm stuff coming out. So I was like, Joshua, can you check me? It feels like something warm coming out of me. And so he checked and he was like, oh yeah, it is. So I was like, okay. She's still not here. So it was about like 11:30 in the morning now, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's 11:30 and I need to push him out by 12 o'clock because I said he was coming by 12 o'clock. Like I was just really about it, like, come on, he needs to be here. So it was 11:40 when we finally started pushing. And I was like, oh my goodness, we only got 20 minutes to get him here. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna just get him here by 20 minutes. Let's see. So we started pushing. The first push was real good. Then the second push was good. Then after that, oh my goodness, I started to feel pain. I started to feel the opening and I just felt like some pain. So I got a little discouraged. I got a little bit scared because I'm like, oh my goodness, like I was just like, it's starting to burn. And I didn't think anything about the epidural or anything. I was just like, it's starting to burn, so what's going on? But so I got discouraged and I started to like retract, what is the word? I started to go backwards. I started to go backwards and I was like, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, they could get this baby out of me by a C-section. I had a C-section before this burns. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on, but I don't want to feel this. So I'm just like, I just stopped pushing. During contractions, you're supposed to push 3 times each contraction. At that point, when I got scared and nervous, I was like, I just stopped pushing. I was like, because the night before when we was at my friend's house, she was talking about the ring of fire. She was like, oh, the ring of fire is gonna burn and da da da. So when it started burning, that's exactly what I thought about. So I was like, oh no, we could have this C-section right now. But you know, I persevered. My husband was pushing me, encouraging me. The nurse was so awesome. Oh my goodness, she really helped me out. And the doctor, they were just all very supportive and encouraging. They were like, you got it, it's okay, you're doing good, girl, it's okay. I was like, oh. After not pushing for like 2 contractions, I think it was, I finally started pushing again. And I started pushing again, and like it took a while, but it hurt, it burned, and all of that. And I just, you know, I got through it. I pushed him and his head came out. And I can feel it. Like, I can really feel every single thing that was going on. Like, because the epidural, it was just wearing off. And I was just like, oh my goodness. So I felt his head when it came out. She was like, his head is out. I was like, okay. So then I started to try to like close my legs, but she was like, but it wasn't, it was just a reaction that I was doing to like relieve the pressure, relieve the pain that I was feeling, that uncomfortable feeling that I was feeling. And she was like, no, don't close your legs, open your legs up. So I opened them like back up or whatever. Well, they were already open, but I opened them like further and further apart again. And then I was like, okay. So I gave it one more push, and then the doctor like grabbed them out at the same time. So we was working together at that point, and it came out. And it was after 12 o'clock, but it was like a few minutes after 12. So I was still on time. But it was 12 o'clock and he came finally. And when I say the moment baby Jay came out, the moment he came out, all that pain and everything just left me, because he came out and then poosh, a gush of water came out. Everything came out and I was just like, oh my God, I could feel all, like I felt every single thing come out of me. I felt him come out, I felt the water come out, and it just felt so relieving. Like, oh my goodness, it felt so good. I like, that was like the best feeling ever, honestly. I was like, oh, that felt so good. But I'm just like, that moment, it felt so good, literally. I just thank God that I was able to get through it, and he kept me, he kept my baby, because you know, God was just there. I just know that God was with us, and I just thank God that he kept us. Thank God that I was able to push him out through all the pain and all the scared, all the worriness. God kept me, and I just like thank God for that. So I thank God that I was able to have my Vbac, and I'm here today, you know, being able to share my story. I'm like very excited, and I'm very happy that he kept both of us. I just wanted to share my story with you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.